Okay. So the question is asking us to expand and simplify an expression as a single power, and then we're going to use exponent. So for the first part, I have to expand and simplify, which means I have to write that as the expanded form. So I have a times a over a. So what do I get? A to the power of 2, right? And if I do it, I can do it as a 3 minus 1, which is a 2. Right? Are you guys okay with this? Okay. Now what if I have a to the power of 3 divided by a to the power of 2? So I have a times a divided by a times a. Cancel, 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 cancel. So I'm left with a. Right? Or I can do it the old-fashioned way, which is a 3 take away 2, which is a to the power of 1. Are we okay so far? Okay, next one. A to the power of 3 divided by a to the power of 3. A to the times a over a times a times a. Attention on the board, please. So if I want to simplify this and this, they're gone. This and this is gone. This is and this is gone. So I have everything is gone. So what's my answer?
A. The base.
1.
Oh, 1.
1. The answer is 1. If you divide 10 by 10, what do you get? 1. 100 by 100. 1. Anything you divide by itself, you get 1. Right? Same thing here. I divide a to the power of 3 by a to the power of 3, my answer is going to be 1. Right? Now let's look at it in terms of exponent law. So I have a 3 minus 3. What's a 3 minus 3?
0.
It's a to the power of 0. So a to the power of 0 is 1.
Oh, yeah.
So this is one of the rules. This is one of the exponent rules. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. No matter what the number is, no matter what the letter is, if it's to the power of 0, it equals to 1. Yeah. How about if I have a to the power of 3 divided by a to the power of 4? So I have a times a times a over a times a times a times a. So if I want to cancel this, so what do I have?
I left with 1A.
1 over a.
1, okay.
Right? Because my a is in the denominator, it's not in the numerator, right? So I have nothing on the top, which is 1 over a. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Now let's use the exponent law. What's 3 minus 4? Negative 1. So remember when I was telling you that if you have a negative exponent, you flip it and put it in the denominator, and you make your exponent positive. Okay? So these two are the same. This and this. They're exactly the same thing. Okay? Let's look at the next one. I don't want to forget about these. I want to look at this. So I have a times a times a over a times a times a times a times a. Cancel, cancel, cancel. So what am I left with?
2 over A.
Why 2?
1
Oh.
So it's 1 over a squared. Because I have a times a is a squared. So I have 1 over a squared. Yes? Do you understand that? I have nothing left in the numerator, so that's 1.
Alright.
In the denominator, I have a times a. A times A is A squared.
Okay, okay.
Now, let's look at the exponent law. So if I do 3 take away 5, what do I get? A negative 2. A negative 2 is the same thing as 1 over A squared. We call this flip the base, make your exponent positive. Okay? So my base is A, I flip it, it becomes 1 over A, and make your exponent positive. Okay? So look right here. Flip the base, make your exponent positive. Okay?
Okay.
So let's take the last one here. So 3 minus 7, what do I get? A to the power of what? Negative 4. How will I write it as positive exponent?
1 over A4.
A power 4. 1 over A power 4.
For the zero law, any base to the power of 0 is what? Is what? Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Right? So if you have x squared divided by x squared, right, you're dividing it by the same by itself. So I have x times x divided by x times x. They cancel each other, so you're left with x to the power of 0, which is 1. Yeah?
What would the first one, what would A negative 1 be?
Which
What
one?
would- What would A negative 1?
A to the power of negative 1 will be 1 over A. Right? Two to the power of 3 is 8, right? What's 8 divided by 8?
1.
I want to use division law. I subtract my exponent. So that's 2 to the power of 0, right? Which is 1, right? So this is basically just to tell you that anything to the power of 0 is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1.
I guess if we plug this one in the
Calculator.
there's gonna be 1.
Yep. Do you guys understand that? Okay. Now, the negative exponent law tells you this. The last thing that you want to do, you want to apply the negative exponent law. Okay? That's the last step that you want to do. So if you have, let's say, this right? If you have negative 2 on the outside, the last thing, that's what you want to do. You want to flip it, okay? Because usually what we want to do, we want to make sure that our answer at the end has a negative inside. Or let's say if you have this, for example. If you have a -2 here, okay? That's the last thing you want to do. You want to simplify first. If your answer has a negative, then flip. Okay? We're going to do some examples. So apply this law last. Take the base with negative power and switch its placement. So if it's in the denominator, you take it down to the denominator. And vice versa, right? So if it's in the numerator, you take it down to the denominator. If it's in the denominator with a negative exponent, you bring it out to the numerator. And when you do that, you switch the negative exponent to a positive exponent. Okay? Let me show you an example. So, let's say you have x, y to the power of -3. All what you have to do is bring the y to the denominator, so it becomes x over y to the power of 3. Okay? X stays on the top because x is positive exponent. Only y has a negative exponent. Does it make sense? Everyone. Does it make sense?
No.
No? Okay. Which one has a negative exponent?
The top one?
Which one? X, Y,
Y.
both of them?
Why?
Y.
One.
Right? Because y has a negative exponent, I have to bring it down to the denominator.
Okay.
So it becomes x divided by y3.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if I have 2
So you're always flipping when it's
negative exponent. Only when you have a negative exponent. Now what do I do?
2x
Flip it.
y 2.
You don't, you just change its position. This is the negative exponent, okay? Then you bring it up here, it becomes 2x y squared.
Okay.
Okay?
So you take-
she,
And no fraction anymore.
no fraction anymore because the whatever was in the fraction was a negative.
Okay.
And it will not affect on other terms.
No?
so it becomes times then.
Yes.
Okay. Because the opposite of
Of division is multiplication.
okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now what happens if I have this? The whole thing is with the power of -2.
Don't you have the reverse to it?
1 upon?
Yeah. Flip
It will be 1 over,
Okay.
right? Because remember this is your, like, if you don't have anything on the bottom, it's 1.
Yeah.
So you have to flip this whole thing. So it'll be 1 over 2xy to the power of 2. Okay? Because your exponent is negative, it becomes positive. So you flip it. You flip the whole thing in this case. Because the whole thing is negative. Right? The
So with
whole
that-
thing is to the power of a -2.
So with that, do you do the distributing?
And yeah, after that you have to distribute.
So A now is gonna be x8 and over x8.
This one? It will be x8 over x8. Yep. But what can you do instead of flipping? Remember, flipping has to be the last. Can you do something other than that? what can you do with the exponent? You can add the exponent, right? What Jonathan is asking about this, right? You have x to the power of negative 8 times x to the power of 8. You don't want to flip if you can do something else, right? So what can you do with the exponents here?
Add them.
Add. So what's minus 8 plus 8? It's 0. So what's x to the power of 0?
1.
Now, always your answer has to be with a positive exponent. You can't leave a negative exponent at the end. So let's look at the next one. I'm dividing x to the power of 10 by x to the power of 12. So I subtract my exponent, right? So that's x to the power of negative 2. Can I leave a negative 2?
It will be like 1 over x squared.
Wait, sorry, can you do that again? Maybe I just didn't see something.
What part?
The whole thing?
So I'm dividing, right? Same
Yeah.
base, same
Yeah.
base, so what do I do with the exponent?
Oh, you just changed the exponent.
I subtract.
Yeah, sorry, subtract the exponent.
So 10 minus 12 is negative 2.
Yeah,
Negative 2. Because I have a negative exponent, I flip the base, right? I change the
okay.
position, so it will be 1 over x squared.
Okay, yeah. I thought you did something else. I don't know what.
What's the answer for C?
9x.
1.
Sorry, 1.
Why 1?
Power of 0 is equal to 0.
Power of 0. You have a power of 0. The power of 0.
It's enough.
That's all you gotta say. Power of 0.
Power of 0 is 1. What do I do for this one?
Flip.
Don't flip until the
Oh,
end.
sorry, not flip. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
bring it up. You bring it up.
No,
X minus
just
4
subtract.
minus 2. X minus
4
4
minus-
minus 2.
Oh yeah, you can just solve.
Minus 4 minus 2.
Yeah, negative 1 and negative.
You're
makes
adding the
positive.
exponent, right?
That doesn't make positive? Yes.
Yeah.
Now flip.
No.
Yeah.
Now flip.
Okay.
1 over x.
I thought you said negative and a negative makes positive.
You're subtracting. Minus
Right.
4, take away 2.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not multiplying them.
Oh.
What about F?
Whoa. Step by step.
Is it the same?
We're at E right now.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry.
You guys are
Are
jumping
you, are you,
ahead.
are you,
What
sorry.
about H?
No, 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 no.
Can you give me the answer for H? Okay.
E is 2 x.
Actually,
2x.
the X is 1.
Yeah, because x is 1, then you're
Yeah.
adding, right?
Why
Are you dividing it?
What are you adding?
Sorry, you're taking away. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
2. So it's 2x.
It's 2x2?
Yeah.
2x2.
What was it 2x2? What's one thing away?
One
It's 2.
Minus 2. Minus 2.
Oh, it's minus 2. Oh.
Do you ever get yourself on the videos after?
No.
Yes, please.
You should.
2.
Okay, now if I have a negative exponent, can I leave it?
No.
So what do I do?
1 over.
1 over x.
It'd be 2 over, I mean,
One
yeah,
over
2 over
x.
x.
2
2 over x squared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. it's
So
like.
2, stay on the top,
2 over
over,
x
uh-huh,
squared.
uh-huh.
Right?
Okay, because remember, you change its position.
Yeah.
If it's in the numerator, it becomes in the denominator and you change the sign.
It's the whole thing now.
How about the next one?
Oh, so it's just
1 minus 1.
0.
X negative 1.
No,
No,
4.
no. Subtract.
No, because this thing is 4.
Negative 2.
No, x 0 is it 0? It's not 1. 4x3.
0 is always
No,
1.
it's
Oh yeah?
1
Oh,
over.
So it's hold on a second. It's 4x minus
1
negative
over
2.
4x cubed, that's it.
Yeah.
4x minus
Easy.
3.
Look,
4x minus
look,
3.
look. What's x squared? What's x to the power of 0?
1.
0, 1.
Anything else I can do to this?
No.
No. All what I have to do is change that x0 to 1 because x to the power of 0 is 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1.
Yeah.
So it's 1 over 4x cubed. Done. Finito.
And then you have the foil with this one.
Wow.
Next one you have the foil.
Step by step, man.
Okay, I'm gonna give you time to do this one and that one.
See?